I'll get used to this thing. Hey, hey, loves. It's your girl Kyia, the creative superwoman behind At Peace Arts. Thankful to be here for another On Your Peace Planner Wednesday. Yes, 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 for Roadmap Session 1. Oh, I should have probably turned my lights on behind me, babe. I didn't do that. That was my fault. Um, so welcome. Good to oh, better. Happy Wednesday. Hope you all are doing well. We'll put the Zoom link in there in a second, um, or a few minutes. But if you are on Facebook right now, you are joining the Own Your Peace Daily Planner Roadmap session number 1. You do not have to have the planner if you're just now, like you haven't got it yet. I'm going to share this in the planner group right now so that they can get it. So you do not have to have the planner in order to join us. If you do have the planner, we're actually just working on paper today. So we're not working in the planner at all. But you may absolutely just bring a piece of paper and a pen, some markers, something to color with, um, and you will have everything that you need for this road mapping session. Um, all right. So basically, if you're wondering, like, if you're on here right now and or you have the planner and you're like, I don't know what this road mapping section is. What is this? Right? Before I do this, in a second, after the session is over, I need to do the raffle from last week because I totally did not do it. So if you're watching this right now and you were in the session from last week, make sure you let me know. I do remember who was in the session, but um, just in case, if you were like, I was in the session last week, I want to be entered into the raffle, let me know. So this is the wild pineapple masterpiece that will be getting raffled off. That was for joining last week. Um, so yeah, welcome to those of you that are in the Zoom. Good to see you. Um, I got you. Shariah said, yes, please. I already got your name down from last week. So if you're wondering what in the world is what are we doing? A roadmap. Um, so you can think of a roadmap almost like a vision board with specific directions. Um, and the way that I do my roadmap, and I'll show you the one that I did for 20, I think it was 18 or 19. Um, and I didn't do one for the last, I just kind of ran through life for the last year. Um, but I'll show you how I did mine, and then we'll just walk through kind of different ways that you can make your roadmap, different things that we're going to be thinking about. But it's more or less like a vision board with like wheels. Because what the roadmap does is it doesn't just map out like, oh, this is great. My vision is in front of me. It's beautiful. I love it, right? That's dope. Like I don't want to say that's easy to do, but that's also one of those things that's like, okay, that's like having a dream without the goal or without the plan, right? And no diss to any vision boards, people who love making vision boards. I like making vision boards, but one of the issues has been like, okay, once I get the vision board down, how do I get to that level, right? How do I make the steps that are necessary to get there? And on top of that, y'all see Al's hand. That was funny because right now it's delayed on Facebook and it looks like my hand. It looks like Al's hand, but I'm sitting here, so it's funny. Anyway, um, so it's like, what are the steps that I need to get to where I'm trying to get to? I have this big, huge goal, but now that I have this big, huge goal, how do I actually get to the big, huge goal, the big house that I want? Or if it's not a product, if it's or a object, it's, I'm trying to build my business and I want for it to be built in this way. Like all of those things we have to think through so that we can get to them. It's not just like, boom, I dreamed it. Okay, I'm manifesting it. It's like we have to take some steps to actually get to the manifestation part. Um, so until we all get our mail in genie, which I'm waiting for mine. I'll probably ask all the wrong three questions, but yeah, I'm here for it. So that, and then the roadmap also allows for us, and because we're being real, and in the realness of life, is the thought process of like, okay, yes, I have laid out my plan, I've made my goal, but I know who I am, right? I'm 42 and I know what a lot of my hangups are. Like, I'm going to procrastinate. I'm going to forget to set my alarm to say that I have a meeting at this time. I'm going to, but whatever your thing is, we're now at a point where we can pinpoint it and we can put some of those roadblocks in to our process so that when we know we're going to procrastinate or we know we like to sleep more on Saturdays, then don't plan something for 8 o'clock in the morning when you know you don't like getting up at 8 o'clock in the morning, right? Like, unless it's like I'm trying to meet a client and that's the only time they can meet and I really want this client. But if it's a meeting you're trying to set up on your own, like, plan for real life planning. That's where we're at, right? And so that is what a roadmap is. And that's why we're doing it on scrap paper first, because then because we don't want to do all that in our planner and then have to scratch. We want it to be pretty. That's real. So we'll do it on this paper first, right? So if you're on Facebook right now, or if you're in Zoom, what I would like to do, because I'm always about celebrating, I want to celebrate the small moments. If you're in it, either in the chat on Zoom or you're on Facebook right now, throw in the chat one thing that you accomplished this week. Maybe you didn't even write it down in your planner because you were running this week. Write down, tell me one thing that you are like celebrating. Let's celebrate a small, or maybe it's a big victory. Landed a client that you've been trying to do. You mopped the floor and you said you were going to do that. You threw the laundry in and actually washed it, folded it, and put it away. Come on now. Come on now. Or maybe you just watched it. That's a win too. So if wherever you are, if you're in Facebook or if you're on Zoom, throw that down either in the chat or in the comments on Facebook. Let's like celebrate that. Seriously, let's celebrate that moment. If you're on in the Own Your Peace Planner group, um, absolutely, you can see me broadcasting right now too, so you should be able to chat as well in there. Just a reminder to those of you that are in Zoom, remember that because we're linked into both, anything we talk about in the Zoom can be heard until we cut the Facebook portion off. Um, so just giving you not a warning. You say what you need to say, but if there was something you didn't want to say, know that it can be heard. Um, don't be talking no trash. All right. So, as you're putting your things either in the chat, where is my Zoom? Why can't I find it? Why can't I see my friends in the Zoom? Hold on. Oh, there we go. All right, I need to get my screen together. Um, just giving love and shout outs to those in the Zoom. Thank you for joining me in the Zoom. You know I love y'all. The Zoom is where we interact. So if you're in Facebook and you're like, oh, I kind of want to interact, you don't need to come on screen. You could just have your picture show and talk when you feel like talking. Um, but we will absolutely interact together and all of that, all of that. Um, so just giving people like a minute or two just to get in. If you have not got your Own Your Piece daily planner yet, Regina, we'll put the link in right now. Um, I will put the link in the comments right now for you, Regina. Hold on a second. Sorry, my love. Um, doo, 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 doo. Okay. Hmm. Okay. Just putting this the link into onto Facebook for Regina to join in. Da, da, da. And if you have not done so already, get your paper, your pencil, whatever it is that you're going to be using today. If you want to use some color, you may absolutely use color. Okay.
Are we
Um,
supposed?
hmm. Someone talking to me? Someone asking me a question? No? Okay. Is that Annette? Were you trying to talk to me? Not Annette Manigault.
I
Annette
know
Brown.
it's me.
Oh,
Yeah, it's
okay.
me. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm good. I'm
Good.
just trying to. I'm doing Zoom on my phone, so I'm discombobulated. That's
Okay.
all.
No worries. Let me know if I can help with anything.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you for joining. All right. So, again, if you just have your piece of paper, a pencil, if you're just joining on Facebook, you just need a piece of paper, a pencil, a pen, something to write with. Um, and what we just added in the chat or either chat is just what's one thing that you like did this week that you put in your planner, you wrote down, or you maybe you didn't put it in your planner, um, and you actually got it accomplished. Like, shout out to you, right? So please throw that in the chat because I want to celebrate you, and you may feel free to celebrate anybody who's posting right now. If you're in the Zoom or in Facebook, go on and give them love too. Um, absolutely, because listen, we are in this together, okay? All right. So Marion, you said you found the perfect song for a program. I love it. Book two clients for wedding stationery, Ludwig. Whoop, whoop. Yes, I was able to plan a community event for COVID-19 outreach. Awesome. Annette. Um, Shay, I'm a planner snob. Pinky out. I'm here for it. Total planner snob. Today is what's it called? Sticker National Sticker Day, y'all. National Sticker Day. And so yes, that includes washi tape, which I've got some of my washi tape up here. So if you are a sticker girl in your planner, welcome. Today is our day. I don't do stickers in my planner, but I do a lot of washi. I do not like stickers at all in my planner. I've tried it and they just feel like they fill up space. Um, so let me make sure there's anybody in Facebook who wants to join in on Zoom. I'll say that every few moments, just so that you can. Regina, I put the link in there for you. So you should be able to join now. And hopefully you can get in here. And it's this. Hmm? Sure, you showing me something? Hold on. Al said you're showing me something. She got that washi tape.
Mm-mm. That's a saying. Shame. Shame.
Yes. You have some pretty ones too. Yeah. Uh-oh, she got more. You all, this is what happens. When you yes. Ooh, those are pretty. You may have to Oh, I like that. You may have to share. You may have to like put a few on a piece of plastic and send them to Watkins Castle.
I will, and I'll send some to Annette Minigold too, because she
Yes.
doesn't have any.
Thank you for sharing. And that's dancing too. See, we doing the washi tape dance. Al is also like, thank you very much for sending her some. Maybe she won't buy anymore. Wishful thinking. Regina, let me know if you got the link and if you're able to get in. You are welcome, T. Thank you for joining on. You can stay on and just chill if you want to. You do not have to talk. I'm sorry you're not feeling well, but sending you good vibes and healing and love always. Um, all right. So I want to show you all my roadmap really quickly, and then we're gonna jump in and start thinking of our own or doing our new one. So I do a roadmap or should do a roadmap every year. I did not do one for 2020 and I didn't do one for 2019. Won't lie, straight up, right? I tell you all the time, I'm not trying to shoot for perfection. This is me being the realest of the real and letting you know I don't always have it down. I'm working on it just like you are. So, let's see. All right. So you can see my roadmap there on the screen. And what I'm basically just showing you, this was back when the roadmap was only one page. It's now 2 pages, so it's nice and big. Um, but I just kind of want to point out to you, and I want to give you the elements so you can be thinking through this while I'm showing you my roadmap. The first one almost is the first thing you almost want to focus on is your word, either your word of the year, your phrase of the year, whatever that is. And maybe you're making your roadmap more for like 5 years. Okay, that's fine. So mine in 2018 was owning my peace. That was my mantra, my word, or whatever. So, what you want to think about is what does that look like for you, right? What does owning my peace or um, whatever your word is? I can't even think right now of what other words are. It could be centered. I think one of ours is one of somebody in the groups is centered. Um, whatever your word is, you want to think about what does that mean to me? Sometimes you might have to sit and meditate for a little bit, pray for a little bit about like be in silence about what your word means, right? What it means, what it looks like, what it feels like, what money is needed for it, right? What energy is needed for it. So, because sometimes you might be like, I want to own my peace, right? That may be what you're looking at right now. You're saying, I want to own my peace. But I'm going to mute whoever that is. I love you and I'm muting you just so we don't get feedback. No, it's not. It's all love. Stop laughing, Ludwig. Ludwig's causing trouble. She's already causing trouble. I love you. She went off camera so we can't see her face because she's causing drama. I love it. I love it. So, I was saying like maybe one of your things is maybe let's say for instance, I just want to give you an example. Let's say one of your things is I want to be, let me think. I want to be a fitness trainer. Let's say your word is fitness, right? Health. My word is fitness and health. Now, one thing that could be in that is like, okay, if I want to be a fitness instructor, my thing is health, my word is health, my word is taking care of myself. How can you do that if you're not getting enough sleep? If you're not making time to exercise? If you're not eating well? Right? So, in order to for your word to be health, it's like what would health for me look like? Not what it looks like in Health Fitness magazine, right? What would health for me look like? Health for me in particular, I'll give you all an example. If I were looking at my roadmap here, health for me, if my word were health, the first thing would be I need to eat 3 meals and snacks a day because one of my issues is that when I stress, I don't eat, right? So I need to eat 3 square meals a day, full meals, which means, okay, if I need to eat 4 meals a day, probably four to add on some weight, then I need to actually be cooking, which means I need to do some meal planning, right? It's those things that you're starting to think through. Hey, KMP. Hi, Regina. Hey, Prima. Um, it's those things that you need to think through. That's starting to get at your core. That's starting to get at what do I really need to do? What does it mean for me? Because health would mean something else for someone else. They're like, I have to be exercising. And that would be one of my health things too. I need to be moving more, right? But I've got to put in more protein, more this, more that. So you see what I'm saying? Like sometimes we see a picture of what we think health and fitness is or what peace is or whatever, and that can inspire us, but we can't take it specifically from, oh, that's my picture right there. I'm gonna do exactly what Beyonce did because Beyonce's body is different from yours. She might be like, I did what I did, but I got millions. I paid trainers. Sorry for you, right? So just thinking through those things, I want you to keep that in mind. Whatever your word is, and if you haven't found your word yet or your phrase, it'll come. You do not have to have it by February 1st at midnight, or January 30th by midnight. When it comes, it will come, and it will come like a waterfall. Like you'll be like, "Oh, okay. Yes, that all makes sense." You can also do this process with post-its. If you're a post-it girl like me, if you're a planner junkie like me, you have post-its. So you can do this with post-its too. So for mine, it was owning my peace. What does that look like for me? Being present and aware. So self care, care for others, um, What do I have? I can't read my own writing. Lord, that's doesn't usually happen. I can't even read that. Oh, connection. So being present and aware is a big bucket. Being organized is another big bucket. Being a full-time artist is going to help me to own my piece. See how it goes here and comes right back here. Um, Consistently creating is going to help me to own my piece. Being consistent is going to help me to own my piece, right? I've got some quotes in here. Um, my why. So actually writing like what is your why and putting that in there so that you can see it on a regular basis. Um, some quotes: my schedule is my servant, not my master. My mind, body, and spirit are at peace. I create masterpieces and love those around me from that space. What does it mean to be? And so you have all these big buckets, right? And I've got a quote here. It's a good one. Aim for the sky, but move slowly, enjoying every step along the way. It's all those little steps that make the journey complete by Chandra Kosher. I'm probably not saying it right, so I'm sorry, Shonda. Um, right? So those are your big buckets. What are the big things that are going to help me get to my peace? What are the what's, right? These are the buckets. And now, what am I filling that bucket with in order to make sure I get to the owning my peace? So, we're getting down to the nitty gritty here. So, for mine, let's say just taking one, because I want to get into this. So, just taking one, let's say I'm going to go to one that's a little more like ethereal, and then I'll do the one that's like more like, what does it mean to be a full time artist? So being present and aware is going to help me to own my peace. That was at this point was introducing Reiki. Did that, right? Because then you can look at this and be like, "Ooh, bam, I did that." Right? When you go back at this at the end of 2021 and you're like, "Check, check, 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 check. I did that." Okay? Review my roadmap every morning. Read NARC notes every night. Limit social media to 1 hour a day. Failed at that. Introduce dance as a meditation, pieces of my day in my planner every night, meditate in the morning and on the train, do some art therapy, and I have a date there. So I got really specific. Talk time with the kids and had Tuesdays and Thursdays. Read with the kids, eat at the kitchen table every night. And that didn't work either. And separate family date nights. Or that's what I think that is, 2 times a month. So some of those things I did, and some of them I didn't. One of them was get a drum, which I do have a drum now, right? Took 3 years, but I do have a drum thanks to Al. So that's like the ethereal. These are things that are going to help me to be more present and aware. Full time artist, if I go over to that section though, build up and utilize my database. I have the amount that I think a full time artist that I feel like I want to make, and that was 150,000 a year. I want to be higher than that now, but that's where I was then. So getting very specific, right? Increasing painting parties. This is where virtual paint parties was in 2018. It is now a thing. On-site private public retreats, adding music, which is now a thing. Another public paint party spot, RIP to Fairmount Grill. We love you. Passive income, planners, calendars, notebooks, t-shirts, magnets, etc. Working on it. Original work, investing in marketing, filling the calendar 2 months out, planner group development. We are right here, right now, right? And motivational speaking. So you see how you start to go big bucket and then smaller and starting to check some of those marks off, right? Um, so what I want to do is the one thing that it didn't have, and we hadn't got to this point yet in my life where I was doing that, was where you get tripped up. And I think right in here is where we kind of want to think out as we're doing here, and maybe on one of these lines is like where we procrastinate, where we do whatever, where we get afraid, right? And maybe a solution. So when this happens, then this. When I procrastinate, I am going to acknowledge that I procrastinate, and then maybe I get up for 5 minutes and go get a snack, and then I come back or I go for a walk. Maybe procrastination is we're working too much, and so our body's like, hey, I'm done. I'd like to not do this anymore, and I'm gonna like be like a 2 year old and rebel until you do what I'm asking you to do. Right? At least that's how my body operates. Okay. So that's just so we will put that in after. And you can still be tweaking your roadmap after we do this. Absolutely. Please know space and grace. We're having this conversation with Luvi. Space and grace. Shout out to my girl Lisa if she's on this live right now. Always talking about space and grace. Um, that this may change, y'all. Do not be afraid for your map to change because sometimes we get so and we were just in a group. I was just in a group with some amazing women just now. Two of them are on, three of them are on here right now, where it was just talking about like your roadmap might change. You might have these all these plans like boom, to doom, to doom, to doom, and then something's like, oh shoot, wait a minute. Still getting you to your goal, but it had to take you on a loop first. And we can't plan loops because we don't ever know when they're gonna happen, right? So know that, get your whiteout ready, stay on your goal, but know that you might need to change it. Okay. So, what I think we'll do is just literally get our paper here. So, I got my paper and I'm not even touching my planner right now. My planner is going to go off to whichever. If you feel like it's going to motivate you to use washi, to use stickers, even on this, even though this isn't your final, you may absolutely play here. And if you're, as I said before, if you don't have a planner and you're ready to get one, you can go. I'll put the link in the comments for Facebook. Um, but you don't need to put this in your planner because we're not going final here. All right. Or you can do it on Post-its if you want to, whatever works for you. So, what we'll do here is you can start it however you want, right? So you could start. Oh, that's cool. You said Issa Rae has a video of her did that moment. Oh, I love that. I'm gonna have to look for that. Um, Thank you, Prima. Um, so as you all saw, I started off with a circle that was off to the side on mine. Um, oh, well, hold on. Babe, can you bring the camera down to me working on the bottom, please? Thank you. Let me get my. Okay. All right. So right in here, paper's all crooked. You could decide your circle, if you're going to have a circle, a triangle, a square. Think of shapes that for some reason inspire you. It could be a flower that's your middle, a heart. Yes, 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 right? Okay. Um, and you can think of, I think Jill had sent me something that was really cool where you think about the different parts of your life. So if you're a mama, entrepreneur, you're not just an entrepreneur, but like a working in the corporate field, anything like that. You're bringing all of these parts in, but you're thinking about your center. So you could start, let's say, for instance, here if you wanted to. Um, Maybe this is where your center is, right? Okay. Maybe it's over here, right? You're starting it from here, and everything is going to come out from this place. You might decide that you want something more like a roadmap that's got like tangents coming off of it. So maybe it's more like, um, let me see, hold on, let me get a Sharpie here. Maybe it's more like, hey, I'm starting here. This is my starting point. I've got all these different roads. One's going to go here, right? One's going to go here, and there's some information here, blah, 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 blah. Maybe it's coming from here, and there's some information here. So there's all these road maps, and you could have them come back here so that it looks like, oh, they all lead back to me. They all lead back to where I'm trying to go to, what I'm trying to do, how I'm trying to do it, right? So this here is your playing space. This is not like you got to do it exactly like mine. I liked the way mine was laid out, but you may prefer to lay it out in some other way. So, what I'd like to do is let's just play. Um, I want to, like, I almost feel like if people are on Facebook right now, let me know. But if they're not, I almost feel like I could come off of Facebook and I think play some music. I could play music, babe, I think from my Spotify, right? If we come off of Facebook. Oh, okay. Hmm. Not the okay. And if it's too much because I didn't tell you that's what I was doing before, then forget I said anything. Because I have a tendency to do that. So I don't want to do that today because I'd like to not be in trouble. Hey, Andrea. Andrea, we are road mapping right now. If you would like to come into the Zoom that's posted there, we're just using a piece of paper and a pen just to do some road mapping. So you're more than welcome to come in. So let's do it this way, y'all. If you have music that you want to play, that's probably easier. That way I don't drive Al insane. Um, then you, huh? I don't want you to, okay. You can play music for now, whatever it is you need, light a candle, whatever you need. And whenever you come to these sessions, you can absolutely do that. Um, but like, let's just do what we do what's necessary. If you have any questions at all, this is the time to kind of pop them either in the chat. If you're having a question about Kyia, what's the best way to do this? Or I'm sorry, getting another piece of paper because I just can't draw on the back of this with the marker showing through. I'm all for creativity and all, but got to draw the line at some point. So yes, if you have a question about how to start this, and maybe you don't start off with the drawing, you're just starting off with, um, you may just be starting off with, let's say, for instance, your word. What does that mean, right? You start off first with that. What does my word mean? Um, that may be an easier way to start, so you're not feeling like you're starting with a roadmap in per se, right? So if you were starting maybe on the back of a page and you said your word, my word of the year, I actually have two. Um, the first one, I think I'm probably saying it wrong. Um, and this was yeah, it's not in here yet. My first one was, and it's been this for a few years, was autonomy. Um, and then the second was, I think it's Meraki or Mareki. Um, and it's a Greek word that means basically doing what you do with love. I picked the love one. It was love and peace and something else. I can't remember it all. I wrote it down. Um, but those, so I have two. I'm gonna put them in because I feel like they're both kind of doing the same thing. But it's like, all right, what do I need to accomplish that? This can be messy. It should be messy. It should not be pretty. This is not where we're at right now, right? So if I were saying I'm going to start mine, let's say, right, I kind of am feeling like since we have 2 pages now, when we didn't have 2 pages, I'm like, I want to do this with a triangle because the triangle is feminine energy. I want to pull that in. May not make my triangle this big in the planner because the space ain't that big, right? So I'm looking here and I'm saying, all right, yes, I'm loving this, and my words will go in here, and I'll probably put the meaning of Meraki so I'll remember it, um, as well as autonomy. And this is kind of my sub word. Like this one's my main word that I learned this year, right? Okay. Thank you, babe. Okay. So it's just in Zoom playing right now, right? That must be what you did. You're so amazing. I don't know. Okay. So if I've got my triangle here, what I'm actually going to do so I don't have to keep moving this back and forth is just put a little piece of washi tape on the back. Um, so I don't have to keep moving it. I use the rainbow today. Okay. Um, we did turn it on, Andrea. So I think you'll just hear me talking, but you won't hear music. Oh no, she's talking. Andrea's on Facebook, baby. But Andrea should just come to the Zoom. Come chill with us. You know we're fun. Okay. Anybody have any questions at all? Y'all just working. I love it. Yes. Mhm. Oh, I'm just putting them together so they don't move when I'm writing. In the mm, so in the planner there's two sheets. You actually have, I'll show you what it is in the what it looks like in the planner. So the one that I showed you from 2018, we were only doing one page. We hadn't expanded to two pages yet. But in the original, you've got two pages. So you can so that's why we're using two pages here. Um, you may absolutely like decide I only need one page for my roadmap, but we gave you two. Does that make sense? Okay. Okay, let's see. Oh, sorry, that was me. Mm. So I think the biggest thing is, and I can't see the Zoom just yet because Al's doing some. Oh, I can control. Sorry, I thought you were doing some work in there. Okay. Thank you. Okay. And I wasn't telling you I couldn't see it. I was going to ask who I was talking to. Who just said, how do you come up with your word? Tell me, tell me, tell me. Who was that? Was that? All right. All right. Prima. Okay. So if you're trying to figure out how to come up with your word, and it may be a phrase, it doesn't have to be a word. It could totally be what your overall um, biggest thing is. Like if you're at your core, right? So let's say, for instance, and I know some of your things, but not all of your things. Let's say, for instance, it's purchasing a home, it's being on vacation, going on vacation, it's increasing your income. Those are like the outward things. Now, when you start to bring them in, why do you want that? What's your why? Why do I want to have the house, have the abundance, have the um what do you call it? Um the things. If we could boil it down to the why do I want either the things, or why do I feel like I want to be placed in this space? What is that going to do for me? And thinking through, like, once you get there, and tell me if I'm not making sense, so stop me before I go further. Okay. Once you get there, then it's a matter of, okay, what do I need in order to get there? And it may not be the tangible things, it may very well just be, in order for me, my word might be growth. I want to grow so that I can get to those spaces, and I need to grow in these places. Or, and I'm just giving examples here, right? It's like what your core thing is. Like you feel like you seem to hit it all the time. Like, I want to own my peace. So that's real big. I want to own my peace. And how am I going to own my peace? Or if y'all are in the chat right now, right? For those of you that are in Zoom, throw your word, if you don't mind sharing, throw it in the chat and give me, or like, because I think this will inspire. Throw it in the chat and then say why. And if it's too personal, then don't do it. But throw it in the chat and tell us why. So Jill here says, I have intentional and also considering centered. Jill, what's your why? Why did you choose that? Right? So what's your word and why? Marion said agency. I want to recognize that I have control over more things than I acknowledge. Big, really big, right? Jill says I want to be more intentional with my life this year, intentional with my time, my money, my relationships, right? Last year Jill's word was balance, right? So your big thing, and sometimes it's really hard to think that big because it's so like way over, but um it's kind of and it could be peace, right? Like I just want to have peace. I feel like I don't have peace. I want to have maybe not control. That's why I say autonomy. So freedom over making decisions in your life, freedom over self, freedom over like just to be whoever it is you are. Um, Autonomy for me, one of my reasons why I had autonomy was I was in I'll say this first and then I'm gonna try to remember what I was saying. I chose autonomy because I felt like as an entrepreneur and as a person, um, I want to be able, I felt like I was always like rebelling against things. Like I want to be able to have the freedom to do what I want to do when I want to do it. That was like my big thing. Like I want to be able to do that when I feel like I want to do it. And so that's when autonomy made sense for me because it was like, oh, you're kind of fighting in a lot of different places. Why don't you stop fighting and just say, this is what I want. I want to be. So when you realize you're doing something a lot, that's when you can try to figure out your word. That's when your word will kind of come into fruition. So it's your big word, and it might change. Don't be worried that it changes. Um, I could tell you a few words that I think for you, Prima, but it's got to be close to your heart on what your word is. Um, mhm, 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 mm, mhm, mhm, mhm. Right. Mhm. Yeah. To get there. Mm. Yep. Yep. Mhm. Yes. And then it changes. Yes. Yes. Yeah. No, Joe, that's really helpful. If you want to share the link too, you can send it to me if you want. That would be helpful. So if anybody wants to listen to it, they can. Um, and I'll add to that as well. Some of that is also one of the other things. Sometimes you can get to it by what you don't want. That's the other side. Sometimes it is easier, when somebody's like, "What do you want to eat?" Whenever Al says, "What do you want to eat?" I'm like, "I don't want this. I don't want this. I don't want this." It's like, "What do you want?" Well, I just narrowed down three things I don't want, right? And so sometimes it's easier to come from that level of the not necessarily negative, but you're saying, I know for sure, for damn sure, I don't want that. Right? So if you, hmm, mm-hmm. Yes. Yep. Yes. From there, exactly, eliminating. Yeah, there's so many different ways. And so hopefully, Prima, that helped in determining. And you may have, maybe you got 5 words right now. You still haven't narrowed it fully down, or maybe you have two. And I think it's okay to have two. I think it's okay to have many, however many you want. The issue is if you have so many and then so many different things and they're not kind of inclusive, you could feel scattered. So I don't want you to feel scattered either. So I want you to kind of try to hone in as much as you can. If you got to change it, maybe this is a 6 month word. And then in 6 months, you're like, okay, and now pivot. Okay. Right? Maybe that's what it is. And that's okay. Like, I feel like we have to be okay with nothing being static. We had a conversation with a friend. I had a conversation with a friend about impermanence, about like having to let things go, about things shifting and moving, and how hard that is, but how necessary it is. So, this planner is going to grow and change with you. Um, so, all right, let me get something on here. Any other questions that I can answer? Okay, I just changed it, babe. Thank you. It's 6 months on page one and 6 months on page two. Exactly. Facts. Um, Annette, I'm gonna say Annette M. Clarity, being sure of the steps in my life that I am doing and stop procrastinating. Yes, yeah. And welcoming in procrastination. I'll tell y'all as I'm working, welcoming it, and I'm saying it this way. I'm not saying like let's feed into it. So this morning I was reading the Own Your Peace Manifesto. So I've tried to bring it into my meditation practice, and which is spotty at best, but it's there. It's something. And I brought it in, and the one that struck me, like I had to read it a few times, um, was I am courageous even when I am afraid. And I think it struck me because it was this level of, like you were saying, Annette, like procrastination and not procrastinating. Um, I think I've lived a lot, or I know, I won't say I think, I know, I've lived a lot of my life in a space of not admitting fear and just trying to push through it. Not admitting trauma and just trying to push through it. Just keep pushing through it. Everything's fine. Everything's fine. Everything's fine, right? And you just keep moving because that's what needed to be done. Hi, Andrea. Because that's what needed to be done. And then what I realized when I said that phrase, I am courageous even when I am afraid, what it did was this release of, ah, I can still be afraid and admit I'm scared as all hell and still move forward. And it allows me to not have to hold on to trying to be strong in every single area. It allows me to release that and say, I'm afraid. And it's okay for you to be afraid. That allows you to have empathy towards others who might be afraid. um, and let them know that you're afraid with them, but you're walking with them. And we can be strong and courageous together, as opposed to, I don't have space for your fear. I'm going to need you to put that away because I haven't handled my own fear. Right. And so, with that, with procrastination, what makes me think about that for that, and that is like when you procrastinate, the first thing we say is like, I can't be procrastinating. I can't be procrastinating. That's the first thing. I know it. I do it very well. Give me my procrastination card. But um when we procrastinate, it's like what I said about like the procrastination part is like, okay, why am I procrastinating? I'm probably hungry, I'm tired, I've been working on this thing for a long time, I didn't sleep well last night. All right, I'm gonna give you your procrastination time. I'm gonna give you 15 minutes, and then I gotta come back to this. Okay, it's like negotiating with a 2 year old. I swear to goodness. um so in that space, right? um, allowing it because it's gonna make itself known anyway. So okay. And if you haven't already, just get your buckets first. Don't worry about how. Don't worry about the how. Just get your buckets in. Okay, babe. Okay, thank you. That was Brother Al, Andrea. Andrea saying hi to you. She just said, "Is that Brother Al?" She must have heard you. You know, Andrea be looking for you. Andrea be looking for you. That's why. She heard you. Did you hear Al? Is that what it was, Andrea? Um, what is this? We want. Da, 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 da. And even as you're working, if something comes up, be like, Kyia, what about this? Just let me know. Can you all hear the music okay? Do you want me to hold on? I can't see you to ask you if it's okay or not. Okay. I shall it turneth it up. Okay. Al's telling me not to blast y'all's ears out. The volume is sensitive. Okay. I'm all afraid to press the button now. More? Something? Okay, I turned it up a little bit. Okay. Babe, Andrea said I'm a little bit out of focus on Zoom, but but it's better focus on Facebook. Okay. Said it might be a Zoom thing, Andrea. Okay. Thank you, Andrea. If you are on Facebook right now, welcome. We are doing our It's Planner Wednesday. We are making our roadmaps. If you have not either got your planner yet, you can order on @peacearts.com/OYP 2021. Um, the journal is also there for those of you that I realize that some people are not planner girls. I'm so sorry. But no, I'm messing. Um, but you can also do the Own Your Piece coloring journal. It's at peacearts.com/OYPCJ.
Put that on speaker view so I can see it big. There we go. Oh yeah, that's not the way it looks in real life.
Oh, sorry. I was just adjusting the camera for you all.
I think it's just the bandwidth of
Zoom. Okay.
this only one.
Okay. Hi, Sylvia. Welcome. No, we appreciate you, Andrea. Um, so yes, I think I was telling you that. If you're joining us on Facebook, you can join us in the Zoom if you want to. And I already got some scratching out happening. It does? Hmm. There we go. Hey, Guan. Welcome, welcome. Love it. So, if you're just joining in, thank you. I'll turn this down a little bit so you can hear me better. We are working on our roadmap. So, I showed a picture earlier of my older roadmap from 2018, and you can watch the recording of this too. Um, but we're basically starting off with our word of the year or our phrase of the year or your quote of the year or your passage. Maybe it's a passage from Bible, Quran, some place that you has inspired you, and so many other places that could inspire you. Um, so just a quick breakdown of the roadmap. If you were to bring it down to 2 minutes, main word, main focus, main thing that you are working on this year, and the energy, right? So that's almost like what it is. This is the energy you want to have for the year, right? That's like yes, this is the energy you want to have. Whatever yours is, your word of the year, your energy for the year. I like that. I like that. Yes, we're gonna phrase it. We're gonna coin that. So you're and we were talking about that, Ludwig, right? So the energy that you want to have for the year, the energy you want to walk in, that's what goes in the center. These out here are your big bucket things, right? How am I going to do that? What am I going to need to do that? In order for me to have this kind of energy, I'm going to need um, maybe it's the abundance, it's the money. For me, it's creativity, of course. For me, it's thinking about autonomy and being a full time artist, being present in my life with my family and with myself. It could be meditation, and maybe meditation goes under being present. So, like, you need to meditate in order to feel present, right? So, those are your big bucket things. And then you break that down into the how. So, this is the energy, what energy you want to have. This is what you need to get to that energy, the elements you need to get to that energy. And then below that, inside of that, will be the how. How you going to do that, right? Maybe there's small things that need to go. A full-time artist, I need to be promoting my stuff, da 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 da, whatever that is, right? If it's being present, what makes me feel present with my family, my friends, all of that stuff. And then you start to list down what that is. And then you get down to the nitty gritty. Do I need to do that for 2 hours a day? Do I need to do that for 15 minutes? Shoot, I don't have 2 hours. I can only do 10 minutes of meditation. Bam. I'm gonna be consistent with that. One of your things might be, I think over here I might have consistency. I'm gonna be consistent with that. So that's your like 2 minute snapshot. You can put quotes in there in your roadmap. This is in your planner, but we're doing it on paper as you can see here so that I don't have to put the final in my planner until we'll do that. You can do it next week. You can do it if you already have it. Where the energy resides. Yes. Okay. So thinking about that, this is your energy center, and these are the things that you need. So it's almost like this revolving thing. This is my center. It's going to go out and come back in every time, right? So every time it's just, I start here, goes out, energy goes out, feeds me right back in. It's almost like a flower. Goes out, comes right back in, right? Every time. So it's like I'm feeding myself every time because I'm putting that energy out. So it's got to come back to me, right? Come on now, right? Shariah, do you feel better about your word? I know we were having a text chat. Y'all are always welcome to chat with me if you're working on it. Do you feel better about it? Yeah, like do you feel more not I know you were still kind of figuring it out. Do you feel like, all right, I'm getting closer to it? Okay. Okay. And we were talking about that. Yes. We were talking about like the level of like how do you go from it's really easy for us to do the day-to-day stuff. It's easy for me to check off the boxes, right? If you're saying if you're saying what I'm thinking you're saying, I can do all the things. It's about doing it with with intention and then planning for further out. That's harder for me, right? Um, mhm. 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 Absolutely. Yep. I think this is one of the biggest things too. You're welcome, Prima. No, that was Marion. Marion. Thank you, Marion. Prima was above that. Yeah, Prima, I'm saying is my cousin, y'all. My cousin is Kristen. I call her Prima, just in case. Her name is Kristen, though. So you can refer to you can. It's like when Tista's on here, y'all refer to her as Tista. I guess y'all can refer to her as Prima if you want to, but she's also Kristen if you want to give her her real name. Um, so this is what I think it is too. I think another level, and I actually was just talking to Ludwig about this, Shirai, is like um, there's also a level of like project management of like doing projects. And I think this is next level. I'll share this with you all. Well, I guess I'm on Facebook too. This is kind of next level on your Peace Daily Planner because I think that the planner is dope and it lets you do all of your things that you need to do. But when you have a project where you need multiple steps, like this is my big picture thing, if you were to put all of your steps in your planner and like you and I and so many of us on this Zoom, You have your business, your mama, you got a whole bunch of different things happening, right? You're like, I got like 9 projects at the same time. If you were to put all that in your planner, you wouldn't have space for anything. It would just be a big block of stuff. And so, one of the things that I'm looking at right now is coming up with a project planner where you can literally plan your projects and then take each little thing and then put that in your planner. Today, I am going to contact that client about the da 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 da. Today, I'm going to call the doctor's office because my child has these series of appointments we need to take care of. Today, I'm going to call the doctor and schedule that little tiny piece. But the whole project is laid out for you in the project planner. You see what I mean? That's where I think mhm, that's where I think sometimes um, we're at where there's so many other small pieces that we have to try to put in to the thing that sometimes it gets overwhelming. Because I know there are certain days in my planner that I'm like, girl, you have no space to breathe. And that is stressful. That is stressful. Hmm. Hmm. Yes. Yes. Exactly. I so feel you. I feel you. Yeah. And don't be afraid to bust out a notebook. Don't be afraid, like right here, I'm gonna show y'all. Huh? Planner coach. Right? I got you. Ludwig was saying the same thing to me. Motivational planner coach. Exactly. I'm gonna help you lay your planner out. But look at this for a second. I'll show you all what I'm talking about. So this I started designing, and it's a mess already because and it's supposed to be a mess. Your planner should not it don't need to be a mess, but it shouldn't be like so prim and proper that it's like you won't put a line in it. But for instance, and I'm still working on this, right? So this is January for me, and I have it numbered from 1 to 31. My plan is to put all the things in here, and I'll take a picture of this so you can see it better. My plan is to put all the things in here that are like I have a paint party on this day. I need to send this correspondence to this person on this day, right? I've got a social media section here for when I need to plan social media. I know Shay, that's your world too. I have another thing right here for proposed clients. This thing right here, just my business needs its own thing, right? Yeah. Yeah. You take it from here and put it in the planner. Mhm. Cuz you can. Yeah, cuz it might change. Here it can be messy and it can change, right? Um yeah. I'm already there. I'm working on it. I'm yeah. So I would say until I could get this thing down because I'm working on it, the best thing to do would be to get a notebook, straight up old school spiral bound notebook, right? And write the project out. Write the entire project out from start to finish or back into it. This is where I'm trying to go. This is the project. So the manifestation is, for your products, like the manifestation, let's just say for instance, and I don't know where your stuff is right now. I can't wait to try it. But let's just say for instance, your manifestation of your products would be getting them into Target. Let's just say put that out there, right? That's your back end. That's the major goal. Now let's back our way out and write it all down. I'm going to get into Target. This is how I'm going to do it. I got to call this rep. I got to bring the stuff to the Target place. I got to call the manufacturer. I need to mix all the ingredients, all of that stuff. That could be 2, 3 pages. But then once you lay it all out and you put it all down, then you put dates next to it, plot it, everything's getting plotted, right? So then this day I didn't get that done because life. So this moves up a day and everything moves up a day, right? and then leaving yourself space. So it lets you see everything at a glance. I totally feel you. That's why I created the notebook. Because I realized like there are so many things, or there's a lot of things you do that are repetitive. Like my paint parties, I do the same thing from the beginning of the party all the way to the end. I need to schedule the Zoom. I need to send out a thank you. I need to do all those different steps. And so, in order to do that, um, I had to do this notebook thing so that I didn't have to keep it together. But they're tiny. They're tiny, but if you put it all in your planner, mhm. But if you put it all in your planner, it would be, if you did that every day in your planner, like let's say you had a, you have an event, or I had a party every single day I'm writing down, send thank you note, send thank you note, no. Work smarter. You know what I mean? Every day, like for someone else it might be every day I sweep the kitchen. Why that doesn't need to be in your planner probably. That's not necessarily a project, but that could be in your like goals or keeping track or something. But like every something you do on a regular basis doesn't need to be in your planner, because it's like, if it's oh, no, no, I'm trying to say the opposite. If it's something, yeah, if it's a project thing, yeah, that can't be in your planner because you don't have enough space. But if it's something like, I'm gonna clean the kitchen real quick this one time, great. But if it's something you do on a regular basis, or it's more of a project thing that you have to do to break it down, then yeah, I think that's the difference. So I am working on this. If you all have any ideas at all, um, let me know. Right now, I just started doing it for myself, but now what you're saying, Shay, is like, hey, ma'am, I need that. And Ludwig's already been on me, like, can you do that, please? Sending over resources. And I'm surprised Jill has been very quiet. She hasn't said anything. Mm, mm-hmm. See, I think, and I thought too, because I have like a loose ends page as well. I thought about that initially, but then I thought, but I might have to go back. So like if I have, especially for me in particular, because I have paint parties that recur, I might have to go back and see like, okay, where were you? Mm-hmm. Did I do it? Did I send out that thank you? Did I da 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 da? Shoot, you're behind. You got crazy. So that's why I was like, it needs to be a notebook form. Like it needs to be that you would might have over the year. You might have multiple of them. Yeah, this is how my brain operates. This is why y'all be seeing me up late. This is exactly. Let Okay, I'm here for it. I'm here for it. Yes. So I'm here for the, like, let's talk. Let's talk. So this is your, so Shay, this is like, thank you, Jill. This is like your big picture. The roadmap would be your big picture. And then we can start to um put some of that stuff in the planner, but your project management stuff, your business stuff, the stuff you're really working on to really plot out, we can start to, I would say, get a notebook and lay all of that out. Like get it out of your brain so you don't have to think about it, and onto a notebook, and almost set it up like an Excel spreadsheet. You and I can talk about this too. Yeah. Mhm. This is because it's all the same tasks. Um yeah, I got you. I'm gonna work on this. And now I told Jill, which is a problem, and Al has heard me. So and Ludwig. I need to stop showing. So yes, that's just, I understand you and I feel you. I feel it and I'm already there. So I got you. We'll work on it. We'll work on it. Yes. I don't think it can even wait that long. I don't even think it can, like, all honesty, I think it needs to be now. Like Shay's like, "Hey, I need that now." Like, I need it right now. Yeah. What else you need? I got you. I got you. It's those things, right? Like, yeah, like it's the, because it's the functional things that when I did the planner 5 years ago, um I didn't know. And now we've learned new things every year. You know what I mean? So yeah, I got you, Shay. I'm working on it. Yeah, I know, right? All right. Sylvia or Guan, I want to make sure you're good before we hop off, that you feel like you have a good footing right now. You can either tell me in the chat or come on and chat, because Guan, I know you're not shy. Huh? Sylvia, what we saying? Yeah. I'm glad. Mm-hmm. Yes. And lay down. Just lay down and listen. Okay. Mm-hmm. Yes. Yes. Mm-hmm. Yes, you're welcome. You're welcome. Absolutely. Absolutely. Please, we will be here every week just doing different things, fun activities. I showed, and we have a planner group, and I just posted, you're more than welcome. Annette, you please invite Sylvia to the planner group. Um, but it is, yeah, yes, yeah. Absolutely, right? Exactly. Absolutely. I'll put the link to the group, because as soon as you click it, it'll bring you to there, and I'll also put the link to because I didn't put it in here. I didn't put the planner link in here too. I mean, all of you either have it or know about it. Um but I'll put it in here as well. So you're welcome. I'm glad it's been helpful to you, Sylvia. Yes. It's necessary. And people don't realize that it's, sometimes we just think self-care is just like, um, bubble baths and a glass of wine. And don't get me wrong, I'm here for it. It's also like laying out where you're trying to go. I think one of the things too, well, what were you gonna say? You go. Yes. Yep. Here, hold on. Let me, just so I can see it bigger, I'm gonna spotlight you. Okay, so tell me what you're thinking. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yep. So you have, where's your center? What's your center? Is the heart, right? Okay. So your thing, so yes, everything can branch out from that center. So everything is you're making your different pods, right? I would say a good number is usually either 4 or 5. When you start to get bigger than that, I think it gets harder. The different breakoffs. So from your center, like, mm-hmm, that's your center, yep. And so your every road is coming off of that technically, right? Mhm. That would be one of your roads, yep, and leading to that little square that's over there. You could have another road going someplace else, yep. So you could go in like 5 different directions if you wanted to. Mhm. Mhm. You got it. It exactly. Boy, we in trouble. We in trouble. This one right here, she's like, I am on this. I'm gonna do my work before we get to class today. Watch me. Yeah. Mhm. It's like a vision board with directions. It's literally like a vision board with directions. And you can, um, what I want to make sure of that I do not forget is, sorry, let me just put the planner link in here. Okay. If you all want to share that planner link with anyone, I just put it in the chat for you. But the other thing I want to make sure that I remember is one of the two things. One of the things that we probably, and Shay, we were kind of talking about this a little bit too. So a lot of times we think, me and Al were talking about this, and I'm gonna do a little blurb on this when I go on live one of these days, is the difference between a phone and a planner. And a lot of people are like, I have a phone, I don't need a planner. If that works for you, dope. The difference between a phone and a planner here is that you can keep all of your appointments in your phone. Hands down, that is not a problem. When you are trying to make a vision for your life, that is when the planner comes in, because it's not just about keeping appointments and checking off boxes. Now it is about, I have a vision and a goal and a plan I'm trying to work toward, and sometimes I might need to change it and modify it and move it. And there are certain apps that are in a phone, I think, that you can do certain things with, but you can't see it laid out and move things around and scratch stuff off and be creative with it. And that is the difference between a phone and the On Your Piece Daily Planner. For those that had any questions about that, that is the difference. Is trying to lay your plan out as opposed to just checking off tasks, right? Um, I think y'all already know that, but for those of you on Facebook that are watching that, this the difference. Um, and then, and I use both. I use my phone and my planner, right? I'm going to tell y'all right now, I missed one of my doctor's appointments because I put it in my planner, but I didn't put a reminder in my phone. I need both. I need both. Okay? So that's just being the real, that I'm not trying to be like, you only need the On Your Piece planner. Until we get this thing to ding when we put an appointment in, babe, can you work on that? No, sir, I'm not. I'm sorry. I'm just playing. But until we get this thing to ding when you put something in there, you need both. And that's okay. That was me yesterday. But it's right here in the planner. It is pretty. It wasn't in the phone. Right. That's the issue. Yeah. You have to do both. So you put it all in your planner and then you put your appointments in, or you do one appointment and you put it in your phone, whatever's necessary. So just the funny. That's true. It happens. Um, Thank you, Ludwig, for making me realize we're all human. Um, so what I want us to do before we read our Own Your Peace manifesto is making sure we put in, and you may be doing this after, putting in your roadblocks. Okay. So your roadblocks, we can make a symbol for your roadblock. So if you had maybe a circle, a spiral is procrastination, maybe it's more like that. That's probably more procrastination, right? Just all over the place. Maybe that's your symbol for procrastination. You can make symbols. You can play here. You can have a sticker or a label for procrastination. Um, Maybe you have another symbol. I don't know. I'm just making something up here. Maybe you have another symbol for, golly, what else could be? We have to be careful not to be negative here, because my first thought that I just thought about writing was being lazy. And sometimes that's just because you're tired because you did not sleep the night before because you were up all night. So let's try to always keep our things positive and not bring in whatever negative connotation we might have heard, somebody else calling us lazy, when that's actually, for me, I usually process a lot when I'm not doing a lot. That's when I'm most creative. Um, right? So maybe it's self doubt. That way, it's not something someone else. I just want to point this out to you all. Do you all see my writing? I do write messy. Because Ludwig's always like, look at your writing, right? I do write messy when I'm really thinking, um, right? Or it could, go back on mute, right? This could be fear. So you might be right on your path and then, shoot, I'm afraid. I'm not doing that. I'm not doing that. Nope, never mind. It wasn't meant for me, right? All of that. Because self doubt and fear could be two different things or they could be the same. So I want for you procrastination, this one. Procrastination, yep. So you know what your fear. Mhm. So you know what your crutch is, right? Maybe it's sensitivity. Maybe you get real sensitive when you get to the level of trying to reach your goal, right? Whatever. I don't know. I know what mine are. Yours might be different, but I definitely want you to think through from your standpoint, not somebody else telling you you're this or you're that, because that's BS. I'm gonna say it in a nice way. Usually that's just somebody projecting their own stuff onto you, and I want this to be yours, what you know to be true for yourself, if that makes sense. Okay? Um, and so you can write those in wherever you want, however you want. Remember, I think I said on my other one, because I get so excited talking to y'all, mine ain't even done. I'm gonna have to like stop and actually focus, and then I'll post mine. I promise you. But when I was saying like for mine, you might write it on those lines that are going to each section. You might write what you do and maybe just do the symbol. Maybe don't write it, just do the symbol that you made for it. So procrastination, for instance, I might put, here. I know it's going to happen, but I don't have to read it every time because you don't want that because then you're like, oh, I'm going to procrastinate. Now you're freaking out that you're going to procrastinate. So maybe just put the symbol somewhere on that line. I should have put it over here. Somewhere on that line, you put that symbol. And that's just a reminder. I might procrastinate, right? And then maybe over here, you could put a different symbol, maybe just a heart. Golly, maybe you could just do a heart. Maybe what you need in that space from procrastination is some love. Maybe you need a break, right? What can you do to do away with or to honor the procrastination because it wants to be there and give it its space and still do what it is you need to do? Because isn't that like how it is like dealing with like littles? They just want butterflies. Yes, transformation and that. I love that. Like you can make it like a little butterfly sticker, whatever, and put it there. Love, right? Show yourself love. Reminder. So it's like this is the thing that I always run into, right? If I put it on here, um, right? This is what I always run like, okay, I'm a full-time artist. I'm a procrastinate and I'm gonna have fear. I'm gonna have both of these on my way to this journey, going here. Mhm. 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 Yep. These were what I did. This was like to show like going from the energy going out to where you're trying to get to and bringing it back like that, filling your cup, constantly filling your cup. So it doesn't have to be a pedal. It could be dotted lines. It could be a wavy line. You don't have to do them at all. I just wanted to show you guys kind of how that energy flows. So, right, it's like the flowing of the energy. You starting here, it's going out to the thing that you know you need with the energy going out and coming back into your energy. So that was just an illustration. But you could do a flower if you wanted to. You could have the different petals. I think I would if you, you could have it if you want to make it very what do you call it? Um illustrative. There was somebody I think in one of the in the planner group, I think Jill, that did a flower last time, or Kristen, you might remember. Someone did a flower petal, like petals coming from a flower. It was. I'll see if I can find it. Let me write that down. Fine, because you could definitely do the any shape. Um, it was the flower vision roadmap. Flower roadmap, find and post. So there's, yeah, people do some really cool things, so you might get some ideas from there, but it's just whatever works for you. Um, but I think that key point is that is the either the procrastination or the fear. And again, don't feel like you need to finish this whole thing tonight. Please don't. If you feel like I'm still working on this, try not to procrastinate. Put maybe 10 minutes a day into it, maybe while you're doing your transfer, to just, okay, all right, let me put another pedal on, or maybe I'm taking a pedal off. And then next week, we will actually put our roadmap in. If you're not there yet, that's fine. You can watch the video after, um, and go from there. Okay. Yeah. Mhm. Mhm. So you would have your center. Okay. Mhm. You have your center here. Then you have the energy, right? What energy do you want to have for the year? Then where is that and what's going to be needed to have that energy, to be consistent with that energy is flowing out. And that would be, okay, in order for me to have this energy, I need to be this, I need to have this, or I need to, these are the things I want to have and know, right? So let's say I had four coming from that triangle. These are the things I want to, that I'm going to need to have or to manifest in order to keep this energy flowing, right? And then here, so I've had them written, and now I want to get specific. How am I going to be present? I am going to meditate. I'm going to um, spend time with my family, and then make sure that you're not just like, I'm gonna spend time with my family, you let it go. How much time are you gonna spend with your family? When you're gonna do it? How you gonna do it? Right? That's how specific you can get, and you've got plenty of space. So if it's spend time with my family or even meditate, if I'm gonna meditate, how often? When? Where? Right? Those things, like, get real down to the nitty gritty. I'm gonna do it at 6 in the morning, Monday, Wednesday, Friday. In my closet for 20 minutes. Got it. That might change. That might move. That might flow. It's okay, right? Um, that's fine. Same thing. So everything has got to have, in order to make it happen, and you don't need to do it all at the same time. But at some point, we want to get to a flow where you can say, yes, I'm doing that almost every day. Not yet every day. I don't do it every day, but I know I can look back at my roadmap and know what I promised myself. I promised myself I was going to do this because I know I need this in order to function well. I got to get here. Not a race against myself, against anybody else, and not a race, but just a level of like, I want to get here because I know this space feels good for me, right? Um, and laying all that out, laying that energy out. And then once you have this energy laid out, that beautiful laid out thing, now it's the roadblocks. These are the roadblocks, right? And so then it is procrastination, whatever your roadblock is, writing it down and giving it a symbol. And then we'll call these other ones the salve, the healing, right? This is the other ones. The salve or the healing would be the love, the laughter, maybe. You need to laugh at something. You need to, in order to get over your, not get over, but to feel more at peace, whatever that is. Like, think through, like, what makes me feel good? What makes me feel really good, right? Like, uh, and then putting those onto your map. I'll make a like a mini thing about this so that somebody wants to watch it quick or see it quickly. It's like boom, 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 boom. And you can go through it on your own. Does that make sense? Is that helpful, Shay? Okay. Mhm. Salve. Like I was thinking this one. Mhm. Mhm. So that's for me. That's that's where what I'm going to need in order to feel this. So what am I going to need in order to feel this energy, right? So this would be what do I need? What you can't read it. I'm going to make this pretty. What do I need to feel that energy, right? That's what that is. I want this energy. What do I need to feel it? And then it's going to come right back. I'll make a better grid because my goal was for this to be messy and I achieved my goal. Yes. So, um, what we'll do is we will read our manifesto unless anybody has any other questions. Okay. All right. Oh. I'm so glad. I'm so glad. Yeah, she's amazing. Mhm. 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 Yep. That's you, Annette. That is you. Absolutely. No, thank you. Thank you for inviting. Please keep inviting. And I tell people all the time, you don't, um, the planner basically comes up to, $40 with some tax. And I also understand that everybody can't do that. So I invite people to come in, whether you get the planner or not. I want you to get the planner. I do. And but I invite people to come in even if they don't have it because I feel like this whole session is just healing. It's just healing for me, hanging out with you all and just being in the space. So thank you, Sylvia. I appreciate you. Mhm. Nuh-uh. Right. Yep. I'm doing something. I love it. No, you are welcome anytime. Now, I don't need you to make me fall. I don't need you to fall asleep now. That don't be that soothing. I told you, don't be shutting down the spiral notebook. Listen, the spiral notebook is good at all times. That's right. It ain't never let you down. Okay? Like it's consistent, it's gonna be there. And I do. I firmly believe and I will uh second that, third that. A spiral notebook is the jam. Don't be surprised if you don't see a few of them in the plan in the planner groups. If you ready, yes, that's right. You have your planner. That's right. So yeah, like if you, as I said, put your questions in the planner group, post your roadmap when you're done. That's what the group is for encouragement, for seeing each other's stuff. Just don't stress yourself out. As I said before, I think might have been talking to Ludwig, is like at your pace. This is at your pace, creativity at your pace. Be creative with your planner. Um, like don't feel like you're stuck. Like do what you need to do for you in that space. If you didn't do it for 2 days, there is no stress here. No, 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 no. We ain't got time for that. So just do what is comfortable for you. Okay. Um, so we're gonna go ahead and read the manifesto. It's on the back of the planner if you have it. If you don't, you can listen and just feel the good vibes. It's funny because the 2018 planner, y'all, let me see, hold on. The 2018 planner did not have the manifesto yet. Like it didn't even exist, Jill. Kristen, you had this one too. Yeah, it didn't even, the manifesto did not even exist. Regina, I think you had this version too. So it's cool to look back and be like, dang, wow, man, you grew. You grew. Shout out to my sister who helped me with the manifesto, right? You got to acknowledge that. Like, yes, I grew, dag on it. All right. Thank you. Thank you. Um, all right. So the Own Your Peace Manifesto. Um, I love that this song is on right now. Um, I am responsible for the role I play in every piece of my life. I refuse to give anyone my power. I pour into my mind, body, and soul. I share my gifts. I savor the love and laughter in my life. I manifest the life I want to live. I am courageous, even when I am afraid. I trust my heart and intuition to guide me to my highest good. I release judgment. I forgive myself. I am a masterpiece right now. I am creativity. I love me. I own my peace. And for those of you that are on Facebook, you don't know what song is playing right now. It is India Arie's Soul Bird Rise, which was totally perfect for me reading that just now. um, so for those of you who are in the group, I'm gonna turn it up a little bit. Hopefully, I'm not blasting your ears because we in here. And what I'm gonna do, because I'm gonna just bring it back to the beginning so we can just listen to it. Hear the words, feel the words. This is you as you're planning, doing all the amazing things you're about to do. This is you, y'all. Let me know if the volume's good. I'm gonna turn her up a little bit. Baby, you controlling it? Oh, okay. Sure do. Yay! So I hope that that inspired you. Hold on. All right, India, that's enough. Another really good song, though. That's my girl. So I hope that you all are inspired and ready to like kick some butt this week. Um, as always, feel free to what was I gonna say? Feel free to post in the group. Um, and if you have any questions at all, let me know. Tell a friend to tell a friend about the planner. We are still selling them and on our goal to sell over 250. um, because we want these all out in the world. So if you want to get one for a friend or tell a friend about it, as well as the journal, we appreciate you. We love you. We're so thankful for you spending your time, your Wednesday, it's Wednesday, your Wednesday, hanging out with us. And I hope that all of the pieces that you're receiving are helpful. Again, with the project planner thing, let's chat. Let's like inbox me if you have some plans, some ideas. I'm here. And yeah, keep being amazing. Share the group chat link. Let me do it right now. Hold on, hold on, hold on. Let me do it right now because if I don't do it right now, it won't happen. Um, oh, I'm already on it. Okay, here we go. What is the we have our next session on Wednesday, which will be the basically taking our roadmap and making it pretty. So you want to bring your washi tape, your markers, your pens. We'll throw some music on and we're just gonna play. Like that whole week is just, I mean, that week of Wednesday was that the 21st? Is that when? No, the 20th. We're just gonna play. Um, so you may absolutely just come in with all of your fun stuff. Uh, hold on. Why can't I find the daggone group? Because I can't talk and do anything at the same time. Um, babe, do you know where my groups are? You know what half of the issue is, y'all? I almost always work on my phone and I never work on the computer. And right now I'm trying to find it in the computer and I don't even know where to go. I'm trying to find the group, my groups. Like where are the groups at? Where are the groups and junk? Like, how do I find that on the computer? I just want to copy and paste the On Your Piece group into the chat right here, and I can and then I can also send it to you, and then send it to, and then you can send it to Sylvia, unless Al might already have it too. But oh, thank you, babe. There we go. Thank you so much. Al is putting it right here. It won't let you put in the chat. Oh, move the screen up. It's me. There you go. And oh, you gotta change it to everybody, babe. There it is. Okay, thank you. So it's right there. You can just copy and paste it. And you can, as I said, you can share this group with. Oh, okay. Um, okay. Yeah. Sometimes you can copy and paste, and sometimes it won't let you copy and paste. You're right. Um, but yes, if you have people that are into planning and they want to join, please share the group with them. We're more than happy, or share the Wednesday sessions with them. And y'all listen, keep being amazing. And I love you. I'll talk to you soon. Anybody have any questions before we jump off or comments? Absolutely. Thank you. Oh. There nobody in here that's going to be offended. Mhm. 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 Yeah. To see somebody that looks like you. Yeah. Mhm. Yeah. Thank you. Thank you. Yeah. We don't talk about it. Yeah. We don't talk about it. Or we don't share it. We don't teach our children about it either, right? So I'm doing this thing because I need to do the raffle. I won't do it tonight because I gotta make sure I got everybody who's on it. Because I might have lost someone, but I'll do the raffle and then I'll post it. Yes. Thank you. Yes. Mhm. Absolutely. You're welcome. You're welcome. And thank you, Annette. Thank you, everybody. And I will see you on Wednesday or before that. I'll be in the planner group. Y'all will see me in there. It's at 9 every Wednesday. Mhm. Every Wednesday at 9. Absolutely. All right, yeah. Absolutely. Yes. Absolutely. Reach out to me. Yeah, message me. Yeah. Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, message me. Got you. All right, y'all. Do dope stuff. You're welcome. I can never do the heart right.